A bit of controversy to come out of that one. We could see the Panthers trainer ran in front of Jayden Campbell as he was about to take that conversion. So the NRL, Chammy, have come down very hard. A $50,000 fine for the club and a 5-game suspension for the trainer, which does seem harsh. However, that takes into account previous indiscretions from Penrith trainers.
Yeah, it does. And look, I think everyone's got a different opinion on it, whether that was deliberate or not. You take Penrith on face value and say it was a mistake. But as you said, there's previous incidents where trainers have been involved in issues on the field and been breached. And also the fact that even if it wasn't deliberate, as a trainer, you need to know the rules and what you can and can't do. Unfortunately, in that situation, Corey Blocking got himself in a situation where he was fined, the club was fined $50,000 and breached. He's missed 5 games. Now, the interesting part about the suspension is previously when trainers have been suspended, they've been able to have some sort of involvement on game day and then just not undertake their duties for the game. He's not allowed in any change room, in any official capacity, no accredited areas. If he wants to go to the game, he has to go to the game as a fan. So he won't be involved in the lead up and the warm up, and he's the strength and conditioning guy at the club as well. So it's a bit of a blow to the Panthers. What do you think?
I did say thought it was a genuine accident. I understand what you're saying. Trainers got to know the rules, but you saw from his reaction, he was shattered. He was so upset with himself that it happened. So I do understand the fine, a breach was going to happen. But I think personally, Corey himself, I genuinely believe it was an absolute accident, and I don't think he would have meant it at all. Now he was lining the kick up. He wasn't running in to kick it. He did get to reset. He didn't have a time limit on him, so to speak. So he was able to kick it again fairly. I've heard people saying he should have been able to take the kick from in front. Now I don't agree with that. I just think it was an absolute mistake, and I do not believe he did it on purpose. Look, have a go at the face on him. He was so upset about it. So. Look, I think it's just an incident that happened, unfortunate, but it's done now. They're being breached. I thought Des Hasler handled it really well. He spoke about it post-match, and that's basically what he said. He said, look, things happen. He'll get breached for it, no doubt about that, and now we'll move on. At the end of the day, it doesn't change the result. I can't say that cost the Titans a game. I know that they would have put him 4 in front, but he still missed the goal. He still had the opportunity to kick the goal. It's not like he never had the opportunity to kick the goal.
Emma mentioned the other previous indiscretions. I think you go back to 2022, there was a final Parramatta-Penrith this one earlier in the year, where Shane Elford was caught spraying water on the ball up at Townsville, I think it was, against the Cowboys. So there's been previous instances here where there was an incident involving Jed Cartwright and an argument with Cody Walker after the game. And the one I was referring to at the start was, I think it was 22, Parramatta-Penrith, where the game was called to a halt because the trainer wanted to attend to Mitch Kenny. It was outside his jurisdiction. He was banned for the preliminary final there as well. So the NRL took all that into account when making a decision. Gus, what did you think of that? Did you think accident? Do you think the NRL got it right? It's a fair punishment.
I think it's the greatest beat-up I've ever seen in rugby league. I walked in here tonight and I said to Nico Hines, our guest, I said, if a trainer ran in front of you before you're about to kick, would you care? He said, no, just line it up again and kick it. He wouldn't even worry about it.
Which is what he got to do.
It's the greatest beat-up I've ever seen.
He got
this is a perfect example that officialdom can be influenced by social media and what the fans say. It's the best example because the fans were blowing up long before anyone in rugby league had even worried about it. I think it's the greatest beat-up I've ever seen. $50,000 in 5 games? Give me a break.
Do you think it's fair those previous indiscretions come into it as well?
Got nothing to do with it. It wasn't
because
him.
they're all separate and that's not him.
Got nothing to do with it. Got nothing. The trainers, they're out there doing a job. Sometimes they get in the way. If he's not putting water on the ball, he's not doing his job.
Biggest beat up ever. Are we expecting that? Can they challenge that now?
I think it's over the top. I think it's way over the top in terms of the amount. I think he's obviously have to pay the price for what he did. I believe it was an accident, but at the end of the day, they have a duty to know what the rules are and where they are in the game, and he's made a mistake.
Who got hurt?
Well,
no one got hurt.
Des Hasler's future, maybe. I'm not sure, but
that didn't stop him kicking the goal.
No. Well, Jayden wasn't happy, but look,
what happens at the golf if someone yells out at the golf? I mean, fair dinkum.
What, a fan? Everyone's got to be caddy. If a caddy yelled out,
the fan's got to be quiet when he's having to kick a goal. The poor goal
That's the other thing. Like, he's on the sideline.
Yeah.
He was at home, so he was at an away game. Fans are going to be doing all sorts of things to him, saying all sorts of things to him. So, look, I agree with Gus. I think it's a bit of a beat-up, and I've got no doubt It was a pure accident. By Corey.
$50,000.
And I feel sorry for him missing 5 games. I mean, that's these guys' lives. That's what they do. To miss
Look,
5 games,
he'll still work with the club in the
but
work.
not being able to do game day. That's his game day. That's his game. So he's like a player trains a week. They get to play a game. That's his game day. He misses 5 games of that. I think it's really harsh. And I've got no doubt it was a total accident.
You can knock someone out and pay $3,000 a bit cheaper.
Yeah. It's true. Good point. Anyway, at the end of the day, the Panthers so now just 1 point outside that top 4. And Gus, history tells us you can't win the premiership outside the top 4. But it's still wild to think that 8 or 9 weeks ago, they were sitting last on the ladder.
Yeah, only because no one's done it. Someone will do it eventually.
Is this the year?
It could easily be. Could easily be. The competition's just built like that at the moment. If you looked at all the top sides on the weekend, they all played pretty poorly. Some were beaten and should have been beaten by lower placed sides. Panthers, been saying it all year, if they get it right, they're still the team to beat. They will start favourite in every game they play. They're not premiership favourites because of the run they've got to make to get there. You know, mathematically they can't be favourites, but they will start favourite in every game they play between now and grand final day. And if they get there on grand final day, they'll still be favourite again. And when they get it right, no one can match them. What happened on the weekend, I haven't seen a Panther side pulled apart like that or display what they did. After the game, I heard Nathan Cleary talk about a little bit of complacency or a little bit it was just going to happen. Now, I've never known a Panther side in the last 5 years to have that sort of slip up, but it happened the other day. And it's good that it didn't cost them a win and they keep their momentum going and it won't happen to them again.
That might be less than they need, Gus.
Absolutely.
As we always say, you learn more from a loss than you do from a win. So if they've been able to still win at the back end of the game in extra time, and they've learnt that, it could be an absolute blessing for them, to be honest.
Absolutely it could. Absolutely it could.
Is Nathan the greatest clutch player you've ever seen, Gus? In those moments, he just feels like he nails it.
He's had the greatest clutch moments I've ever seen. Incredible. We won't forget that grand final where he virtually picked them up and carried them over the last 15 minutes to beat the Broncos. But that play there, to be even thinking about it, and they were down near the 20-metre line, and he's positioned himself and screamed out to his... Now he's got to back up a little bit to make sure he doesn't put his foot on the line. That was the thing that got me. The fact that he knew that, maybe I'm a stride too close and actually backed up off the line. Watch when he catches the ball, how he actually backs up half a stride to make sure he doesn't put a toe on the 40-metre line because he was so confident he was going to kick it. Catches it, then backs up just a half a stride and goes bang. That ball is still rising when it gets to the uprights. It's still going up in the air. And that's not a fluke because if you go out there any day of the week after training, he's out there doing this on his own for an hour after everyone's gone and had a shower. He's still out there doing it. So that's, success smiles on effort and that's a reward for practice. And he just put himself in the position to do it. He took on the challenge. It's my job. Throw the ball to me, back up, kick the goal. Now we're back in it. And, brilliant.